540, Big 550, KTRS, STLtoday.com, opinion tab, our KTRS app, KTRS radio, and of course in the 9 o'clock hour on channel 187 on Charter. That's KPLR 11.2. Also over the air at 11.2 is where you can find us. Gabe Crocker is the St. Louis County Police Association president and a police officer in St. Louis County. Gabe Crocker, we asked you to come on the show. As you know, you've been paying close attention to this. 6 murders in St. Louis in the last 12 hours. You were in the county. You were not necessarily working any of these, but I would like to get your thoughts as you watch this story unfold.
Well, McGraw, it's a combination of events. You know, we had an officer-involved shooting in De Pere yesterday next to the West County Mall. We had a task force that included detectives from St. Louis County and other jurisdictions involved in a shooting last night in Franklin County. And then, of course, in the city of St. Louis overnight, you know, you saw the death toll rise to 6 people in a short span of time. It's alarming. Again, law enforcement being involved in these shootings, and then, of course, victims, some that I'm sure may be less than innocent victims, if you will, because of life choices they may be making or activities that they're involved in, and then others who are hardworking people like that, like the manager at the hotel there at Hampton and 44 who was murdered.
Yeah, so what are police thinking? Are you noticing an uptick in violence on the streets? Are you worried? What are the police saying as they sort of start 2015 with what can only be described as shocking news for the first 12, 13 days of the year?
Well, it is shocking, and it should shock the conscience of everybody in the St. Louis area. You know, because there are not a lot of simple solutions that are readily available. Not to go too deep, but you look at the last 5 to 6 months since the incidents in August with the civil unrest, the civil disturbance, law enforcement under attack. I think there are a lot of people out there that feel that that the criminal element has been emboldened. You and I have specifically discussed maybe in some areas reduced enforcement by officers because of civil litigation and everything, riots and all this stuff. So is it possible that some of these things are compounding? Sure, I do believe, and I can tell you that I can speak on behalf of almost 500 people that are part of my police association that we collectively feel criminals are more emboldened. Why wouldn't you be when you have state senators who are encouraging, this rebellious behavior and attacking law enforcement, when really all along what we've been talking about, other than a few incidents involving police, what you've seen is large-scale increases in homicides in St. Louis. And many times what our police chiefs do, and it's a common statement by police chiefs, they beat a drum of, we're going to add some more police officers on the street, or we'll put some more police officers in the area. And that is good, and public perception is very important, and certainly there are some increased enforcement can help drive down criminal activity. But we're still dealing with large-scale sociological issues here, McGraw, and it's a deep conversation that not a lot of people want to have.
Yeah,
this is extremely violent crime. You saw the murder of a young teenager, from the South County area that's garnered some headlines recently. And so you're saying, well, let's put more officers in that area. Well, now we've seen an uptick in crime in the South City area, in the Bevo neighborhood, and the Hammer related murder that happened. And we're going, well, let's put more police officers in that area. So that's eventually you run out of excuses to say we're going to put more police officers in an area. Because remember, just a few months ago, we were too omnipresent, too oppressive in our tactics, militarized, and shooting innocent people. And now here we are looking at 6 murders overnight and 2 officer-involved shootings where people attempted to kill police officers in the last 24 hours.
I know you weren't working these cases, but can you tell us anything about these cases? Did the victims know the people who shot them? Were they totally random? Do you have any information you can give us about the actual particulars of these?
Only a little bit of what I've heard through the grapevine, so I'm not comfortable sharing it. And at the same time, a lot of these incidents are in the city, they are active investigations. The randomness of the robbery at the Hampton Hotel is certainly alarming, again, because it's just, guys they're not even bothering to wear ski masks anymore.
Right.
I mean, it's just armed gunmen on the loose. And I'm not trying to demonize anybody that lives in the city, but, that's the stereotype. Armed gunmen that are running around robbing, raping, and pillaging and murdering people for some type of profit, some type of gain. What that gain is, I don't know, but what's the value of a human life?
Gabe Crocker.
And what's the value of, by the way, having good qualified police officers working and paying them a fair wage, too, because that's an ongoing issue. It all adds up, McGraw, and it leads to bloody nights, just like we had.
Gabe Crocker with St. Louis County Police Association president in the county. Another last question for you, and you sort of touched on it. Hotspot policing, which Chief Dotson likes to talk about quite often, is hotspot policing. Is it sort of, and I hate to use the analogy, but the whack-a-mole, right? So you send in a flood of police officers over here, and then the bad guys just move over to where the police were, and you're just constantly chasing the mole all around town.
Right, almost like you're displacing crime. Hotspot policing can be utilized and has shown a lot of promise in certain areas. It's very difficult to hotspot, say, 70 square miles of unincorporated area in Jefferson County. But in concentrated areas of violent crime and certain property crimes, yes, hotspot policing is showing promise. One of the issues is what's happening when we do the hotspot policing. We're out there, police officers. We've got a lieutenant in our Jennings precinct that does aggressive hotspot policing. But what happens to those individuals when they're arrested? And that's where you start to fall back on soft sentences, prosecutorial discretion, judicial discretion. And what we're finding is so many of these people that are being arrested, that are engaging in these activities, are, again, a very small percentage of the population that are committing the biggest percentage of violent crime. Why are these people still out and about?
Gabe Crocker with us, St. Louis County Police Association president. Gabe, thanks for checking in on. I know it's a very busy and difficult morning for you. Thanks.
It's been a long night, and everybody's thankful that there weren't more people hurt and no officers hurt as well. But our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims to the families of those victims from overnight.
Gabe, thanks. Thanks for checking in. 9:48 here, Big 550.